fix my mic this time. It was in a bad spot. Okay. Welcome back to talking about Bird and Arm Man. I'm Paul, with me is Hank.
Hello, hi. I'm Hank.
Okay. Let's talk about episode 4. The whole world is watching. So, in classic style, we left off the last episode on what I would call a high note, which is pretty fun.
Yeah.
We got What's-Her-Face from Wakanda asking for Zemo. And... Sorry.
No. Io or whatever?
Oh, yeah. I think you're right. Io. She talks to Bucky. Bucky's like, we need him. And she's like, you have 8 hours. And he's like, okay. And then they're going to fucking take him. And do God knows what with him. So...
Put him in real jail?
Yeah.
Yeah, they walk out of...
They're probably not going to just murder him because they could just do that if they wanted to. Like, if they wanted him dead, he would be dead. So, yeah.
Put him in a jail he can't just, like, walk out of when he feels like it. I
guess, just for anybody who maybe doesn't remember, the reason they want him is because he killed King T'Chaka back years and years ago.
Yeah, he's not a good person. This show doesn't seem to remember somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, he's really bad. He's done... Like, you know how people hate Nazis? Literally one of those type of people. Not like a Nazi, but like that. He's the bad guy. He's the baddie. But the show forgets. But I will never. Which is why the way they write him is super weird to me. Okay. He has 8 hours. They have 8 hours to use Zemo before they're going to come and take him. Zemo helps find out where the funeral for Karli's, what is it, like her grandmother or something? Like her
adoptive mother, but like
someone who
just took care of them, but not actual blood relation or anything.
Not blood relation, okay.
Because they're all orphans.
Oh, right. Yeah, so like adoption mother, essentially.
Like community leader.
Sure. They're going out asking children where this is going to happen, trying to find out. And he finds out by taking Turkish delight candies because they're delicious or something. Yeah. They're delightful. And he gives one to a child and says something about, where this is happening. She's like, yeah. And he's like, see those men back there? They're very bad. Don't trust them. And he gets a bunch.
Nothing comes of that.
Nothing comes of that. He gets more information that we don't hear. Like, there's a whispering going on.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's nothing too important because nothing in this show really is. So I'm not too worried about not knowing what they said to each other. Because he tells them like what she said.
Yeah, I don't. And like those guys seem so dumb in that. Like they go there, they learn fucking nothing.
At all.
Like, yeah. Like
everybody just walks away
like
from them.
Dopes. Yeah.
Because why?
People just leave the room.
Why wouldn't they? They're not cops. Like, they don't have any jurisdiction. Somebody's like, hey, do you know where this person is? You walk away because fuck that piece of shit. Like, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, why would I tell you?
Yeah, exactly. But he finds out because he was smart. Oh my God, this is going to, like, being the villain he is, he knows that to get information, you draw a child in through the back alley using candy to get what you want.
I didn't feel great about it.
That whole scene is really fucking weird, just knowing who he is and how creepy he kind of is as a person.
I wouldn't fucking take candy from that guy.
Well, I do like candy sometimes.
So I may also be watching a show where a character has repeatedly murdered people by giving them candy that's poisoned. So
okay, sure. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I kind of thought that's what was going on at first when he brought the candies out. Because why wouldn't you think that? He's a villain, for Christ's sakes. Like, God damn it. Anyways, she tells him the information. He's like, don't tell them anything. Don't trust them. And then he walks to them. He gives them all the information they need instantly, which was a really weird situation. I don't understand what that was all about.
It understands, like, oh, he needs to have the leverage so that there's a reason for them to work with him, but also he needs to just give them the information so the plot can happen.
Right. Like, the very basic necessity is the plot needs to happen. So the information.
That's the level the show is operating under. It's like, we need the thing to happen. How do we do it? Hit it with a hammer.
Yes. No, for sure.
Easiest way forward.
It's so fucking stupid. Okay. So he gives them the information, and they're like, all right, we got her. And they kind of do. The funeral is happening. She says some like inspiring eulogy words or whatever. And Sam is about to go in to talk with her. And that's when dipshit Ears McGee and his partner decide to show up. And they're like, we know she's in there. We're going to take them out, blah, blah, blah. I really fucking hate the actual person that plays John Walker, Kurt Russell's son. I can't fucking stand him. And every time they show him in the show, I just cringe. Which sucks because he's kind of one of the only characters that they spent time writing like an arc for, but I fucking hate him. Anyways, they come in barging in and they're like, no, we're gonna go talk to her. Just give him 10 minutes or whatever. And they're like, fine. He goes in. He's having a really good conversation with her and kind of like reaching her because even though he is an Avenger, he's kind of just like the black kid from the project. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's still like a human. He isn't a Captain America. That's kind of like his thing. He was gone. There's no place in this world for him. They kind of get each other.
Well, and also like he was a counselor before he teamed up with Captain America, like talking to people.
He legitimately is trained for this.
Like talking with veterans specifically, like literally was his job. So
yeah,
he's actually trained for this specific kind of thing.
It's his thing. Yeah. 10 minutes doesn't happen, and John Walker decides that he's going to go in at guns blazing because that's the best course of action to bring her in, essentially. Just going in because I'm Captain America and you have to listen to me like every fucking stupid ass American I've ever met. So that's actually truthful writing, at least. And it like ruins everything. She was kind of on the hook, honestly. It literally is a situation of like the fish is biting and then somebody comes in and just kicks the puddle. Like kicks the water and the fish runs away, sort of thing. Literally that happens. Also, they're not I guess also in this, he handcuffs Zemo to a thing.
Which is, it's hilarious. Because like Zemo is not staying in those handcuffs.
Yeah.
There's no
and
way.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
Just straight up. He just straight up doesn't.
Walker is just a moron.
So
and he has to be a moron in relation to our heroes who are also morons.
Yeah, there's ways you could have written every character where this is all kind of plausible where it happened. Yeah. This is like cartoony dipshit writing that's going on here. So she runs away, but like there's kind of a scuffle. He gets into a fight with the super soldiers and starts crying because he gets the absolute shit kicked out of him because they're super soldiers and he's just a piece of shit dude, basically.
Yep.
But they drop all of the vials and he starts stomping them. Was it him? No, Zemo was stomping him because Zemo catches up with somebody.
Like Karli's like kind of gotten away and then Zemo has like taken the long way round to be exactly where she was and starts shooting at her.
Yeah.
And she drops the vials while he's shooting at her, and then he starts stomping on them when he sees them.
Yeah. And he stomps on all of them except for he doesn't hesitate. He knows what he needs to do. So he's the only character that actually, like, even though he's written stupidly in this show, because they all are, he actually sticks to the thing he needs to do and does it.
Yes.
So at least there's that. He stomps all of them except one that was like just out of view, which John Walker eventually sees because of course he does, and pockets essentially. And that's kind of like, so if you didn't see where this was going from the very first time they showed him in episode 2 as Captain America, and like the fact that there's a Super Soldier Serum, you now know. Like you were a little bit behind, but don't worry. The like remedial class took you in, and now you're caught up. Because that's what this was always going to happen in this. Yeah. And yeah, this is like the moment where he puts it in his pocket, and nothing kind of happens with it for a long time, so we'll just ignore it for now. But he takes it.
Yeah, he pockets it. He doesn't like immediately go, I'm taking this, but he's like obviously going to take it.
Yeah, and like he handcuffs Zemo, essentially. Like Zemo's still stomping the shit out of them. That's kind of like, even though he missed one, like that's why Captain America, it feels gross calling him that. That's why U.S. Agent is there, to like arrest Zemo essentially, even though the FlagSmashers and Karli all got away. And he does, and they bring him back to like his hotel apartment, whatever thing. And that's when Io, however you say her name, and like two other, or is it just one other? I don't remember. The Dora Milaje come though, not just her, but like a couple of them. I think
it's two others.
Two others? Okay.
Three total.
So they come for Zemo. They ask for him. And they kick the absolute fucking shit out of everybody. Like, it's real pretty good. That is legitimately one of the best fights. Like you were saying in the last episode, this is the best fight in the series so far. This is the best fight so far, and including the one after this, like the episode after this. They're absolutely brutal because, of course, U.S. Agent doesn't want to give up Zemo, and he thinks he's hot shit, so he kind of condescends to them, and they literally just, like a child, kick him until he basically is about to die, essentially. Like, he's fucked. And to the point where Bucky and Sam are just like, we can't let them just like take him out, dude. Like, we gotta calm them down or something.
Like it would be an international incident.
It's pretty bad.
Captain America.
It's pretty bad. Like they're kind of watching it at first, and then they're like, "Oh, we need to step in. This is bad."
This is like okay,
yeah.
This is one of my favorite Zemo moments where he sees the fight and just like, I'm out.
Just runs into the bathroom. Yeah. Yeah, it's really, really good. That fight is fucking dope. It's like probably the best thing in this series so far for me, personally.
That's fair.
So they absolutely humiliate them all, essentially.
Yeah. Oh my god, what they do to Bucky's arm. Oh my god.
Where did she just like taps him a few times basically to like override his arm and just like crumble it on the floor.
It's just like the exploding heart technique on him and his arm just falls off.
Oh, it's so good. Holy shit. There's like even a moment later where Sam's like, do you know they could do that? He's like, no. Like, they just absolutely stomp these dipshits in the room.
Why aren't we watching a show about them? God damn.
Dude, yes, exactly. But I guess this is kind of the moment that John Walker takes with him of, like, they're not even super soldiers, and they kicked the fuck out of me. Like, they're not even powered up or anything. Like, Jesus Christ, I suck. And he kind of has like a moment later. But the more important thing is, as they put it, he pulled a El Chapo and went down into the sewer, Zemo, from the bathroom and got away. And away he was, I guess, I think for the rest of the episode.
No.
Yeah. No, they get him at the end. No, I think they get him in the next one.
Because he's there when they go to the funeral.
What?
That's still this. Isn't that still this episode?
No. Well, yeah, that was before this, though. Zemo was in John Walker's grasp. That's why they were back at the apartment. It was after the funeral.
Right.
Yeah. So he gets away for this episode here.
Okay.
He gets captured later, as we find out. But, okay. So this is the moment, though, that, like, we get kind of a cut ahead or whatever. Like, the next time we see Walker, he's talking with his buddy Lamar.
Right.
About, like, this is, like, some of the stupidest writing I've ever heard.
Lamar says the dumbest line in this whole show.
Yeah. Maybe in the MCU.
He says Walker will always make the right decision in the heat of combat. It's like, Walker has only made the wrong decision this whole show. What are you talking about?
Okay, you're right. That's dumb. He says something even dumber. So Walker's talking with him about, if you had the chance to take that Super Soldier Serum, would you? He's like, well, it would have saved us and whatever. He's like, yeah. But, like, aren't you afraid of, like, what might happen? And he says the line, well, power just makes a person more themselves, right? It's like, yeah, okay. You fucking dipshit. Who's writing this show? Like, fucking Christ. Anyways, this is the impetus after this conversation where sometime in the, like, between that and the next time we see them, he's obviously taken the serum that he pocketed.
Yeah.
So, okay, we'll talk about more specific stuff in a second. So Zemo escapes. Oh, and before this happens with Walker, with the others, Karli calls Sarah, Sam's sister, and has a threatening message just to, like, get to him or whatever. And that kind of is what brings them together again.
Yeah, that's the part I forgot, is how they got into the next fight, which was this like Sarah threaten and then leading to a meetup.
Yeah, it was kind of not very
would never be able to track them down again if, like, she hadn't set this up.
Yeah, it kind of wasn't, like, overly threatening. It was just kind of the tone of, if he doesn't show up, I know where you live. But, like, she never really threatens outright.
No.
So he meets up because he talks with Sarah. Sarah's like, oh my god, OMG, lol, guess who called? So he flies in. Wants
to buy the boat.
Yeah. He flies in with his wings and just, like, yelling for her or whatever. And they start having kind of a conversation. But then, of course, the other dipshits come in as well because they're following them. Walker and Lamar come in. And it's very clear this time that Walker has taken the serum because he is kicking the shit out of the super soldiers, or at least, like, actually standing up to them and not just, like, on the floor kissing it this time. And there's kind of, like, a big fight that happens, even though the FlagSmashers are kind of trying to get away from it as well. Like, they're trying to leave, but fighting their way out. And there's a moment where Lamar's like, just, like, we shouldn't go in there and blah, blah, blah. And he goes in because he's Captain America, goddammit, and people are going to listen to him. And it gets Lamar killed, but because he gets kicked into a, like, concrete pole and snaps in half, essentially, by a super soldier.
Yeah.
Which enrages Walker to chase after them. He loses them, finds one of them, who earlier in the episode was saying how he was a fan of Captain America. This FlagSmasher was saying he used to be a fan of Captain America or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he specifically just, like, takes that guy down in a busy square and just beats him until he's fucking pulp on the ground, essentially, while people are videoing him. So there's this video now of Captain America murdering a dude that nobody knows did anything. And there's just, like, blood on his shield, and that's kind of how the episode ends, which was also a cool ending shot, I will say.
Yes, that last shot of him standing there, like, swaying with blood on the shield, pretty good.
Yeah.
That has some balls, at least.
It had... I can't remember another time where they've actually taken, like... It takes balls to have Captain America's shield covered in the blood of essentially an innocent person on it for Disney.
Yeah.
Like, kind of crazy. Not so much for comics, of course, because they do atrocious shit all the time with, like, good people in the comics.
They do things they should not do.
Yeah. Yes, true. Okay, so there's more. I think there's a decent amount of stuff to talk about in here.
Yeah.
The first thing, and kind of that I wanted to bring up, is I really like how the way they wrote and like did John Walker for a lot of parts was like a good depiction of PTSD, and like he's obviously really troubled or whatever. Also the fact that he's a character that actually has motivations that like kind of drive his descent into madness, essentially, in a lot of, like, he's the only character I feel like they tried to do anything with writing wise in this show, and that's why I'm annoyed that I hate the actor that plays him, and I can't stand that character because of it.
He kind of feels like the only one that they actually can like wrap their heads around, the writers.
Yeah, like the show was originally always going to be with him as a focus somehow, and they had to find out why the other people are around and like what part they play.
Yeah, whereas like with Karli, they really can't figure out why she's the bad guy other than like forcing it.
This episode pretty much straight up says that she's not and the others are.
Yeah.
Which I like, because I think
that's right, but then the way that they then force her to be the bad guy, despite that, is bad.
Yeah, the fact that she threatens an innocent person across the world. In the last episode, she just straight up murdered a bunch of like innocent type people in a building. Like, and then they go maybe too far the other way, where, oh, we have to humanize her because we need them to sympathize with her now. Let's put her at a funeral and make her sad. Like, I don't know. It's so heavy-handed with everything it does, where it's just like, it just can't be these people existing and like having a difference of how things go in their mind. They have to do like, well, John Walker, we need him to be the bad guy now, so he has to murder somebody. Karli has to murder innocent people, except now she lost her mother, essentially. Like, I don't know. It feels cheap to me. It's the same problem I have with video games, where they put a dog in and then kill it at the end to show who a bad guy is or to make you feel something, because it's the easy button, and I feel like this show takes the easy way out too many times. For me.
Yeah, it's just not creative enough at figuring out different ways to have this stuff play out. Like, it sees the straight line between 2 points, and it takes it every time.
Zemo's too likable for a villain because he has to be. Like, he's literally giving candy to children and talking, like, getting down on, like, to their level to talk with them like a good parent or something would. He says something about, like, have you visited the Sokovia grave site or whatever? Memorial. It's like, of course you have. Like, just shit like this, where it's just like, you're the villain. Like, stop writing him to make me like try to like him, because I know other things he's done. And
he's like, they just write him likable, but also he doesn't really have his own. He doesn't have like personal self-interest. Weirdly,
right. Yeah, it is a little
like
weird.
They've just written him like he wants to stop super soldiers or whatever, but he doesn't have like self-preservation, except like when he leaves that fight in the bathroom. But like he's just there as like, he's gonna point our heroes in the right direction. He's gonna smash most of the Super Soldier Serum, so we don't have to deal with it.
Yep. So weird. It's so freaking weird.
You could write him out of this show. Like, like you could completely remove him from the show and just like write it a little, have the characters be more clever or whatever, or just have things, and it wouldn't be that different. it wouldn't be as good because the actor is a charming presence on screen.
Yeah, like he's a weird, chaotic presence the whole time he's on it. So, like every time he's there, it's like, how's he going to get out of this? Because you know he's going to, or what's he going to add to it? Because he always does.
It's
where
so
the others
weird,
don't.
As a character, he's a chaotic presence, but as like an instrument of the plot, he's the fucking bluntest hammer. Because they didn't figure out like his secret plan that he's working on the whole time or whatever. Like,
and he's just
doesn't exist.
He's kind of like chaotic good too, not even neutral. It's weird.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand what the fuck they're doing with him. And I'm sure they don't either. He's literally an instrument for the writers to just be like, we need somebody to smash this. Zemo's here. Perfect. We need somebody to kill this dude in cold blood. Well, we can't have the heroes do it. Yeah, but Zemo's here. Yeah, perfect. Like, this all works out swimmingly. Zemo's doing what everyone else should do, but can't because they're pussies. So, yeah. The other big thing is that the Dora Milaje are fucking awesome. Just a reminder.
They're great.
They've always been great. Every time they're on screen, they are either an intimidating, threatening presence, even though they barely talk or do anything, or they are a straight up threat presence, and they are kicking the shit out of something, and this is no different.
Yep.
So, yeah. It makes me really sad that, oh my god. I was going to say T'Chaka because I played Siege earlier. T'Challa is dead. The actor, Chadwick Boseman, because... Yeah. Man.
It's such a bummer.
We need more Black Panther stuff. Because, like, Wakanda is one of the actually most interesting things left in the MCU that they have currently. And one of the big parts of it is gone. So I don't know how they're going to do that, but...
like, honestly, they had not fully tapped him playing that character. He was so good in that role.
They totally didn't. They haven't fully tapped Wakanda, just period.
Yeah.
So
that's
what a bummer. What a fucking bummer. That's kind of all I had about. So I was saying that this last episode is kind of where I felt they started going into moments they didn't earn. I feel like the Super Soldier Serum taking was a little bit earned by John Walker getting the shit kicked. Like, there was a clear path of, like, why he kind of broke and was like, I need to do this. And he even has a moment where, like, he wasn't sure and talked to his best friend about it. And his best friend is written terribly, but I mean, at least Walker, like, tried to get some like, it feels like there was some understanding that of what, like, this character was going through before he made the decision. But they killed off Lamar, honestly, for no reason other than they needed to make him go, like, stupid crazy to kill somebody.
Yeah.
They kind of, even though that moment's awesome at the end, I don't feel it was fully earned. Like, I felt it was pretty cheap.
No, again, like, having a character killing off specifically to motivate another character is bad. Pretty lazy.
It's bad writing. Bad. Yeah, for sure. Zemo getting away is not earned at all, but it's fine.
But it's so funny.
It's so funny.
He just slides out of there.
I will say, even just like that giant fight with in the room with the Milaje, Dora Milaje is not earned, but I loved it, so I'm gonna overlook that one. I'll give it a plus in there. Like, at least that was unearned in a way that makes the show more watchable and fun, and not in a way that makes the character stupider, which is an okay change for me. That's kind of it for me. Do you have any things you want to add?
It's really funny when Bucky's arm falls off. Like,
oh
it's
my God.
Really funny.
That moment is so good. Yeah. Bucky is too much of a pussy. Like, I understand why they made him that way, because it's kind of like why you kind of need to make Superman, like, either lose his memory, lose his powers, in a coma, dead, or whatever, in things he's in, because Bucky fully, like, actually doing things would just fix the situation. Like, he would have took Karli and snapped her neck. Like, over. because he's a super soldier in a world of super soldiers that don't have any formal training and normal people. So, like, I kind of understand why they had to make him, like, a mopey little dickhead that does nothing, but it kind of sucks, because he could fix a lot of these problems if he just, like, killed somebody, which is what he's trained to do. I don't know. Maybe that's just me being like, you have the you have the thing to fix this. He could snap Zemo in half, literally. Like, he could stop Karli, probably. And he could just kill John Walker. He's the Winter Soldier anyway. Like, who fucking cares?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me being a little picky about it. I just kind of wanted the guy who, out of all these characters, he's the one I want to actually see do anything, because I know he can do things, and he doesn't. And it's frustrating. I don't fucking care about Falcon. You can fly. Who fucking cares? Go back to working on your boat, dipshit. Anyways, that's my final thought. Nothing left for you?
Not really.
Okay.
No, I think that's it for this episode.
Okay, cool. All right. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed, and tune in to the next one where we talk more about this show. Bye.
Peace.